In this video, we're going to demonstrate several tools available from the Annotation toolbar. The first one that I'm going to demonstrate is the Zoom In tool. And the Zoom In tool is this magnifying glass with a plus sign in it. So to use it, you click on it, and your cursor becomes a magnifying glass, and you can do two things. You can either just left click in the area that you're interested in zooming in on, or if you know the specific area you want to zoom in on, you can click and then drag to make a rectangle around the area you want to zoom. So I'm going to use that method to zoom in right here. Next, I'm going to zoom out again because I want to zoom in on the area that my reservation is in. And for this mock level 4 EI, I'm just going to have a fake reservation. And I'm just going to show you how I did that using this little section right here. And this is really a class 1 area airshed, but I'm just going to pretend that this little area here is my reservation. So I am going to zoom out so I can zoom back in on that little area. And when you click on the zoom out tool, your cursor becomes a magnifying glass with a minus sign in it, and then you can left click on the map to zoom out. So that's about all I want to zoom out on, because I just want to be able to zoom in on this area here. So I'm going back to the zoom in tool, and I'm going to zoom in on that area. The next tool I'm going to demonstrate is the circle annotation tool, and that's what I used in the mock level 4 EI to define the buffer zone around your reservation that you can use to determine what point sources you want to include in your level 4 EI. And that is shown on the map in the mock level 4 EI. So the circle annotation tool is this tool right here that looks like a circle. So I'm going to click on it to start using it, and then my cursor changes to a plus sign, and what you want to do is scroll as close as you can to the approximate center of your reservation and click and then drag out, and that's going to form a circle around your reservation. So I'm going to do that, and then when you get far enough out that you think that's the buffer zone you want, you let go of the mouse. So I think right about here is what I want. Right about there. And then when you let go of the mouse, this box comes up that you can specify different things about the circle, like the line color, the radius, and things like that. For now, I'm going to leave the defaults and click OK. I'm going to scroll down just a little bit so we can see the entire circle on my map here. I don't want to go that far, maybe right about here. The next thing I'm going to use on the toolbar is the Measure Distance and Areas tool, which is right here. It looks like a ruler. And what I want to do is measure the distance my reservation is from the edge of the circle. And this is not an exact science, since the polygon is unevenly shaped, and there's a difference between the length of this and the length of this. So determining the buffer zone with this method is not an exact science, but it gives us an estimation of how big the buffer zone is. So I want to click on that tool here, and then I want to measure the distance from the edge of my polygon to the top of the circle. So I do that by first just clicking on the edge of the polygon, and don't click and drag, just click and then let go, and then just go up with your cursor to the top of the polygon. Once you reach, the top of the circle, and once you reach the top of the circle, click again. And that, if you have to hold it steady, because if you move it just a little bit, it changes on the bottom. You'll see that for the segment length it's 0.07, but for the total length it's 11.54. So that's adding the length of that little tiny segment I did once I clicked to close, and then adding it to the previous segment. So you'll see at the bottom of the screen that the total length from the polygon edge to the top of the circle is 11.54 miles. So that's the top length of 11.5, we'll call it. So I want to stop using the annotation, the measure distance and areas tool. So I'm going to scroll over here and click on this arrow icon, and that will stop that measurement, and it will just disappear. So the next thing I want to do is measure the distance from this edge of the polygon to the edge of the circle here. So we'll use the same method as before. I'll click on the measure distances and area tool here. That looks like the ruler. Then I'll do one click and let go of the mouse right on the side of the polygon. And then I will scroll over here. And once I reach the edge of the circle, I'll click again. Ugh, it's hard to stop scrolling. And then you'll see that the total length is 7.54 miles, and we'll just call that 7.5 miles for the horizontal length. And then we will click on the arrow button to stop this.